Boys, a long, long time ago, back in the early 1960s, Israel acquired atomic bombs. One of the first countries to do so besides the United States and the Soviet Union. Iran today is hell-bent on getting atomic weapons too. They may dance around the issue, they may lie about what their intents are for peaceful uses of nuclear power, but anyone with half a brain realizes what they want is nuclear power to create nuclear bombs. And I'm sure most of you boys have heard enough and seen enough to know that Iran has made many public statements over the last years about its desire to wipe Israel off the map. A country the size of Massachusetts and New Jersey, with a tiny population of about 7 million people, in potential, in theory, actually could be done. It actually could be done. Israel has the power to retaliate. So the issue under discussion today, the issue that brings Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu to Washington, is a potential nuclear disaster for the entire Middle East. And in the world of intercontinental ballistic missiles, it's a potential disaster for the entire world. Now, there's been a lot of tumult about the way in which this speech is being given. Who invited him? Who was informed? Who wasn't informed? Was Mr. Obama dissed by Netanyahu for not informing him? Is it the Republicans paying against the Democrats? I don't know the details of all of that. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes that we all know absolutely nothing about? But the substance of what the Prime Minister is speaking about today to a joint session of Congress connects to everything I've spoken about the last few minutes. A potential for an international disaster that begins first and foremost with a disaster for Klal Yisrael, the potential for a disaster for Klal Yisrael in Eretz Israel. You just can't help thinking about Tainus Esther and the events of 2,500 years ago that took place this week in Iran/Persia. When you look at the Gemara in Megillah, in the Egalitarian Megillah, Esther, if you don't mind me using this phrase, Esther was a real smart cookie. And Esther knew just how to plan and how to plot the downfall of Haman. You look at the Egalitarian, why she has this challenging approach to Achashverosh, who might have killed her. And in this dramatic moment, she makes a party. What's Achashverosh a moment of the party? The Gemara in Tezvovim Beis Megillah has a lengthy discussion. All the Amoraim chime in as to what was behind the plan. But she was a smart gal who eventually developed a ploy that, of course, we know destroyed Haman. And Mr. Netanyahu is coming to Washington to play some politics too, and to create pressure on the administration to put the screws on Iran and not to offer appeasement as the world did to Hitler Yamach Shemot Zichro back in 1939. For the guys who took world history and a little bit of my Jewish history course, in 1939, the Prime Minister of England, Neville Chamberlain, went to Munich and he met with Hitler. And he came back with a peace agreement, and he told the world when he got off the plane, we're going to have peace in our time. That was 1939, and the rest we all know. But Esther didn't begin her approach and begin all of her machinations in the palaces and in the harem of Persia before first calling upon Klal Yisrael to fast, to daven, and to do tshuva. Because she knew that all the political moves are at best chess moves, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu being the person moving the chess pieces. how striking it is that today we're on the eve of Tainus Esther. The opportunity tomorrow to fast also. To remind ourselves who's moving the chess pieces. And then Obama and Boehner and the Meshuggah and mullahs in Iran, they're all chess pieces. It is striking that when things began to turn around and Achashverosh told Haman, grab the horse, grab the lavush, I want you to take Mordechai around town and declare to the world, this is how I honor those who I wish to honor. Where did he find them? In the Beis Medrash, giving shir on Hilchos Knitza. There was Torah, there was Tainus, there was Tefillah. It was Mordechai and Esther understood that behind all the politics is the Yad Hashem. And that's the important message we have to take away with us also. We have to listen to Mr. Netanyahu today. We have to put pressure on our political leaders not to buckle under to a foolish, short-sighted agreement to appease the mullahs in Tehran, but to recognize as B'nai Torah first and foremost, Me'ayin Yovo Ezri, from where comes our help.